stay tuned. I'm going to a cacti nursery coming up pretty soon, so I will take you guys with me. Also, I did my January plant haul, and I kind of went crazy this month on the plants. I think I have 12 plants to show you guys, so stay tuned for that video. And hello everybody, thank you so much for stopping by to see my top 5 houseplants of January. So if you are not familiar with my top 5 houseplants of the month, I pick out 5 plants that have been doing well over the month, and then I will show you basic care tips, how often I water the plant, how often I fertilize the plant, where they sit in my house, so depending, how much light they get, and just basic stuff like that. So, and then I also show you one plant that is not doing so well for the month, and then I will show you over the months how that one plant is doing, if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, if it didn't make it. So if you do not want to miss updates on those plants, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see more plant videos from me, don't forget to subscribe. So let's get right into it. The first plant I'm going to show you is a begonia that I got a while ago. I probably got this plant October or November of 2018. I saw it at the grocery store, and I will insert a picture here of what it looked like when I first got it. What possessed me to get this plant, I do not know, because obviously you can see this is what it looked like. I think it was the silver to the leaves, and I just fell in love with it and I took it home with me. This plant has been on my channel multiple times. I did a repotting video on this plant, and it is my begonia looking glass. So this plant has done very well for me. It originally was sitting in my bathroom at my other house, and it loved the spot it was in. It got the humidity that it needed. It got the light that it needed. And I'll insert a picture of what it looked like in my other house and the growth that it was getting. It was growing so much that I repotted it and I put it on a couple of moss poles. And let me see if I can get the whole plant in the camera for you, because it is pretty big. So in the middle, as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of growth, but it does have a lot of new growth down here that is going to eventually grow up, and then I can, stake it around and make it fuller. But this is the top of the plant, so it does have a lot of new growth here at the top. I just love the leaves, how it's so beautiful. The underneath of the underside of the plant is like a maroon color, and then the top of the leaves are the silver color. This is the bottom of the plant, all the growth that it has. And obviously it does need a repot, so I'm going to be doing that soon. I'm going to get it into a bigger pot, maybe even get it another moss pole to go on top, because it is growing a lot and it obviously needs more of something to climb up. So I will probably be repotting that and adding a moss pole. But as far as watering goes, I do water this plant every single week. It will tell me when it needs water, because some of these, let me show you, like this one especially will get really droopy, and I'll know that it's time to water. So I do watch for that one, but I do water every week. I do fertilize every other week with my Nature's, I'll insert a picture of what it looks like. I've used this fertilizer for a very long time and I love it. It does have an odor to it, but I don't mind. My family kind of minds, but I don't mind, because it does help my plants and my plants love it. But this one does sit under a grow light, and it also is near this window back here. But I'll insert a picture of where it sits in my house. So this is my first plant, my Begonia looking glass. Love it, love this plant. Okay, so the next plant I'm going to show you is a plant that I got in Pasadena, probably, I'm going to say about a year ago. I will insert a picture of what it looked like when I first bought it. Me and my daughter did go to the Rose Bowl flea market. We didn't have very much success there. I did a video, so I will post it. I will link it up above, so if you guys are interested in that. But I did pick up this Hoya Carry Eye, and it is just the plain green version. But it has produced quite a few leaves for me over the past year, and it is one of my favorite plants. It has been getting some, this is one of the newer leaves. It does have some spots up here. I'm not too sure what that is all about, but I will have to do some investigation and figure it out. This one also does show me that it needs water. It gets really, like right now, it does need some water. It's not as firm as it is when it has water in it, but it is a pretty good grower. I do fertilize this one every time I water it, because I only water this one probably every 3 to 4 weeks. It doesn't need too much water because it is very succulent. It does hold a lot of water in these leaves, so it does only get watered about every 3 to 4 weeks. But I do fertilize it every time. It does sit in a south-facing window, so it gets a lot of light. And if you can see here, it is about to get some new leaves here. So it really likes the spot that it's sitting in. I kind of want a ring so it can go around the ring and make, you know, the circle. But I will have to look for one of those. Right now it's doing great. I'm going to leave it alone. When I put it back up in its spot, I will give it a good water. But this is my Hoya Carry Eye. So the next plant I'm going to show you is a plant that I've had for a little bit of time. I did get this plant for Mother's Day. Now, if I have a picture, I will insert it here. If not, I will show you. Let me grab it. It's a pretty big plant. So this is my white ghost Euphorbia. This is one of my favorite plants. When I saw this plant, I just knew that I had to have it. I wasn't sure what it was. I found it at Home Depot, and I was on the phone with my husband, and I told him, oh my gosh, I just found this coolest plant ever, but I don't want to spend the money on it. And he said, just get it for Mother's Day, and I didn't argue with that, so I grabbed this plant. It is such an awesome plant. It gives me no problems at all. I do water it about once a month, and I give it a really good watering because it is in a pretty big pot. So I water it thoroughly about once a month, and I also fertilize this plant. It does have new growth. This right here is new growth, if you can tell. It's kind of like a yellowy color, and then it does turn into white. But it is doing very good. I really love this plant, and it does sit by my south-facing window upstairs, so it gets a lot of sunlight up there. But this is my white ghost Euphorbia. It's doing very good. Okay, so the next plant is actually a little cacti. This plant, I believe it's a mammillaria, and I did pick this up at Home Depot a couple of years ago. It was pretty small when I got it, and I just repotted it in this little pot. This pot doesn't have a drainage hole, but I just water it just a little bit, and it seems to be very happy. It is putting off some flowers. This is the first one, if you can see that there. And it does have a ring of flowers, so if you can see those little pink buds coming in up here, it will get a total ring of flowers, which is so beautiful. This plant does get watered about once a month, and it does sit in the south-facing window. One of the easiest cacti that I have, And I really do like it because the spines on this cacti are not like opuntia thorns or spines. They are very soft. But this is one of my top 5 here because no matter where I have this plant in my house, when it gets cooler temperatures, it does flower. So this is one of my top 5 here in January. Okay, so the last plant on my top 5 of January is a plant that I love, and it doesn't get a lot of credit. This plant is the Crassula muscosa, or better known as the watch chain plant. It is a succulent. I did get it in a 4-inch pot. I put it in my south-facing window, and I give it water probably once a month, and it has grown so much for me. One of my favorite plants. This plant is just so unique. Everyone is so different, and this plant has done very well for me. It did well through the move, and as long as I have it in a bright south-facing window, or you can even put it under a grow light. It does need a lot of light. So if you have a spot in your house that has a lot of light, I would highly recommend this plant. And it's just one of my favorites. So she does get fertilized. I do fertilize her every single time that I water, and she does great. I love her. She's just so cute. She's so sassy, and she is one of my favorite plants. So she is definitely one of my top 5 plants here in the month of January. Okay, so those were 5 plants that are doing well in my house for the month of January. Now I'm going to show you one plant that I just don't know what to do with. Nothing that I do can make this plant happy. It is my goldfish plant. I have it under my grow light on a shelf, and it's probably it's about 2 shelves down from the grow light. So I thought that much light would help her and, you know, make her bloom. But she just keeps losing so many leaves. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong with this plant. I was fertilizing her at least every other time that I watered. Now I have cut back on fertilizing her just because she doesn't seem so happy. Like I said, she does drop a lot of leaves, and it looks like she has some kind of sunburn on her leaves. So I don't know if she just maybe doesn't like it under the grow light. I'm going to try moving her upstairs in the south-facing window. Maybe she will get more natural light that way and like that. But this is just my sad plant for the month, and I'm pretty sad about it because this is one of my favorite plants. I do love the goldfish plant, and I do highly recommend it because it's such an interesting plant, and the blooms are just beautiful. So that is my goldfish plant, my sad plant here in the month of January. So I will keep you updated on this plant. Like I said, I'm going to move her upstairs with my cacti where they get full south-facing sun. So I'll move her up there. I'll keep you guys updated. If you want to keep updated on my sad plants, don't forget to subscribe. But I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I want to thank you for watching my video and supporting my channel. If you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so I know to keep going with the top 5s of the month. And like I said, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, bye.